How's it going, Godzilla fans, kaiju fans, collectors, and just general people of YouTube? This is Chanzilla 1964 coming to you with another figure review. This time we're back at it with the Bandai Movie Monster Series figures. This being a Bandai Premium exclusive, we have in front of us the Bandai Movie Monster Series Super Godzilla. Yes, so we finally have a Super Godzilla figure to go along with our Bagan figure, which I am really excited about. And this guy is going to be the premise, the epitome of my next upcoming set of shorts, which is going to be a spin-off from the Mothra Rebirth short that just came out, where I had Mothra and Batra versus Bagan. I was trying to remember the title there, but yeah, it's going to be a spin-off series from that, and it is going to include Super Godzilla versus Bagan. In fact, it's not going to just include it, it's going to conclude with that fight. So stay tuned for that. Not sure when I'm going to get to it. Hopefully I'm going to get to it over winter. But yeah, the next part of that is going to be setting it up for Super Godzilla to come in. But stay tuned and you'll see more from that. With that being said, let's just jump right into this review, because we got a bit of things to cover here. Let's just jump into detail here. As you can see, this is a retooled version of Space Godzilla figure, as you can see from the kneecaps and the bottom of Super Godzilla. And then when I turn in, Space Godzilla dorsal plates and tail. So this is a retooled version of Space Godzilla. Originally when I saw this, I was disappointed. At the same time, I knew I had to get it because it's Super Godzilla. But understanding Super Godzilla's history, I wasn't as disappointed, because I know that Space Godzilla was essentially retooled from Super Godzilla and was inspired from the Super Godzilla model. So I can't quite be disappointed there. But besides that, I'm just going to go over the Space Godzilla detail here, because we got the Space Godzilla legs here, really nice detail here. Toes really nicely done, really nicely painted too. And then got the Space Godzilla crotch area, the kind of bottom part. I didn't know this was the inside of Space Godzilla's stomach, by the way, but this is a really cool detail to know. Then you got Space Godzilla's spines here, all scrunched up and shit like that. I'm hoping they eventually do a redone Space Godzilla 2.0 figure or something. And then you got Space Godzilla's tail here, really nicely done. And I'm disappointed in it personally. I get it why Bandai did it, but at the same time, I'm disappointed in the fact that they couldn't have. I would have been fine if they kept this. If they had just redone this so it looked like Super Godzilla's spines and made this a Super Godzilla spine tail, I would have been perfectly happy. So yeah, detail on the back part for the dorsal fins, I'm disappointed on, because he kept just Space Godzilla dorsal fins, which, yeah, and it's not even painted green. If it was painted green, I would have been able to forgive it a little more, but I get why they wanted to go with the differentiation of color. But yeah, I'm personally bummed at the fact that we didn't get Super Godzilla dorsal plates, which we should have, in my opinion. I'm not sure if it's cost-effective reason, or if it's just laziness, or if it's for the fact that Space Godzilla's design was inspired from Super Godzilla. But yeah, I'm just personally disappointed by it. Am I disappointed at having this figure? Absolutely not. I'm happy. This is a Super Godzilla figure. But at the same time, I really do think that it should have been different in enough ways to say this is not a redone version of Space Godzilla, the Space Godzilla figure, which it obviously is, painfully obviously is. But yeah, disappointed a little bit, but personally overall happy with this guy, because you get to this part here and damn, this is fucking Super Godzilla. Like, you got the Super Godzilla chest sculpt here, really nicely done. The Super Godzilla chest as well is very nicely done, with all this kind of very draconian scaling detail, which is, I love this part of Super Godzilla. Not to mention a different scaling that Super Godzilla has here. Very nice. And then you got the shoulder bulbs with the end of the shoulder spikes, which I'm seeing different iterations of Super Godzilla where the shoulder spikes have extra spikes, which I'm not bummed about, because this right here is enough. This is what Super Godzilla had in the game, but in later iterations, I guess he has extra spikes, which is like, that's okay. This is cool. This is amazing. This is perfect. And then for the arms, you got similar, no, not quite Space Godzilla-y arms, which I'm fine with the arms, honestly. The arms go well with the figure, personally. But yeah, then it all culminizes, besides the spikes, which have really, really nice detail, and really overall the paint is really nice. The face, which is the Super Godzilla face, you got the Super Godzilla spikes here on the back, and then the crown here, which might look like Space Godzilla's crown, but it is not. There's extra spikes and there's extra detail in the segmentation of it. And then you got the face for Super Godzilla, which is definitely not Space Godzilla's face. It looks much more like Godzilla, in my opinion, and it looks kinder, more regal, more badass. And then you got the Super Godzilla mouth spikes too, which are different from Space Godzilla's too. But I mean, honestly, this is amazing. All of this here is amazing. Love this. If Bandai just went the extra mile, would have been a perfect Super Godzilla figure, in my opinion. To me, it would have been perfect. But what we have here is really, really good still. It's just that Bandai, again, didn't take that extra step that I'm guessing quite a few fans were hoping for. And the fact this is a Bandai premium hurts even more, because it hurt my wallet even more. But all joking aside, let's get the paint here. Paint for the shoulder pad, the shoulder spikes is really nice. It's really nice iridescent blue. And it's going to be the same for the bulb and the stomach area for Super Godzilla. And then you're going to have really nice green paint here for the stomach and the chest and the horn. And you're going to have this nice bone paint for the teeth and the spikes. And this really nice piercing yellow, which I like. I like the paint that they used for Super Godzilla's eye. Really nice piercing yellow paint. What paint would I have chosen for this? I probably would have gone with the green paint for the spikes. Yeah. For this part, I would have different. I don't know, actually. I would have done the paint differently for the spines, because it would have been cool to see that green, but at the same time I get why they didn't, because it doesn't differentiate quite well. So I get it. At the same time, yeah. So paint detail, there's a lot to be desired, but I'm perfectly okay with it. Getting on articulation, it's going to have the same articulation as Space Godzilla. You got the arms move here, and then the head will move 360, really nice, and the tail moves 360 as well. Wasn't expecting any leg articulation, that's fine. And then for the arms, honestly, playability wise, it does kind of, I get it. It does, like, it doesn't really affect me too much, because I get it, the big bulbs here make it hard to make his arms move like this, so I get why they made this choice here. Moving on to size comparison for Super Godzilla, here we have Super Godzilla up against his nemesis here, the video game color version of Bagan. So this size comparison here, I think, does size up quite well and sizes up quite nicely, quite perfectly in the video game. Which, for those of you who don't know, for the video game color of Bagan, it's not a redone version of Bagan, it's just Bagan with video game colors. So, but I think this turns out perfectly, because, yeah, playability wise especially, it looks exactly like the size that Bagan was in the video game, and that Super Godzilla was in the video game. So I think size wise, this sizes up perfectly in terms of playability wise and video game accuracy. Yeah, that's the word, video game accuracy. On top of that, let's compare him with the Godzilla that he's supposed to be representing, that being the Godzilla versus Space Godzilla, I believe. So this does size up quite nicely, in my opinion, because it was going to jump originally, instead of this guy turning into Burning Godzilla, would have been turning into him. So this does match up nicely, though. I like this matchup. Does it look like that this is supposed to come from this? A little bit, not quite. A little bit, though. Yeah. Like, I could keep bitching and moaning about how Bandai should have just made a totally new figure for this guy, but it would waste my breath on it. Yeah. But for the purposes of my channel, honestly, it works. I'm happy with it. I'm happy that we get a Super Godzilla and a Bagan to go along with them, because I knew personally I wasn't ever going to do that sort of series if we didn't have a Super Godzilla. But now that we do, I can. So I'm very happy with this. Disappointed a bit. I am a bit disappointed, but overall I'm happy with that we have a Super Godzilla figure. I do hope in the future that we do get a Super Godzilla 2.0. Do I see it coming in the near future? Personally, no. But am I disappointed with it? No, not quite. Yeah, honestly, this will do for until we get something down the line. This is perfectly very good representation of Super Godzilla, in my opinion. But this will do it for today's review, guys. If you guys like this video, do be sure to hit the thumbs up button down below. If you guys think I may have missed anything, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys disagree with me and I think this is a totally amazing, best Super Godzilla figure ever, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you guys like what you see on the channel, do be sure to hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate it, and we'll be having a kind of figure comparison thing going on next video that be showing off the variants, including this guy. And on top of that, maybe, well, you'll just have to wait and see what else we have down the line besides that. But yeah, this has been Chanzilla 1964 saying until next time, guys, peace.